जय श्री श्री गुरु गौरांग गंधर्विका गिरिधारी जुग जय। जय श्री श्री गुरु गौरांग शिशि राधा मदन मोहन पंचतत्त्वात्मक श्री गौर हरि की जय। जय श्री श्री गुरु गौरांग शिशि राधा नयननाथ जीव की जय। जय श्री गौर नित्यानंद प्रभु की जय। जय श्री जगन्नाथ देव की जय। जय नित्य लीला परिस्तोम विष्णुपाद परमहंस तत्र सचिशिल भक्ति वल्लभ तीर्थ गोसाई महाराज की जय। जय नित्य लीला परिस्तोम विष्णुपाद परमहंस तत्र सचिशिल भक्ति दैत माधव गोसाई महाराज की जय। जय नित्य लीला परिस्तोम विष्णुपाद परमहंस तत्र सचिशिल भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोसाई प्रभुपाद की जय। जय परमहंस श्री गौर किशोर दास बाबा जी महाराज की जय। जय शिशिल सच्चिदानंद भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर की जय। जय वैष्णव सार्वभौम शिला जगन्नाथ दास बाबा जी महाराज की जय। जय श्री रूपानुग गुरुवर की जय। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्री वसदि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। जय श्री राधा कृष्ण गोपी गोवर्धन वृंदावन श्री राधा कुंद श्याम कुंदात्मक श्री ब्रजमंदिर की जय। जय श्री नवदीप धाम की जय। जय श्री पुरुषोत्तम धाम की जय। जय श्री बलदेव सुभद्रा जगन्नाथ श्री सुदर्शन चक्र जीव की जय। जय श्री वृंदा देवी तुलसी देवी की जय। जय सर्व विघ्न विनाशनकारी श्री नृसिंह देव की जय। जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। जय समागत भक्त वृंद की जय। जय श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। गौर परमानंदे हरि बोल। वंदे हम श्री गुरो श्री जुता पदकमला श्री गुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्री रूपं साग्रजातं सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्यदेवं श्री राधा कृष्णपादान् सहगना ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Hari Bol 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 Hari Bol. I was in Pula for almost 2 weeks. As you have seen, Srila Bhakti Alok Tapasi Maharaj disappeared from this world. So I was there, and in those videos you can hear how it happened. And there was a lot of seva, and yesterday I came back, so now we have to continue our SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM classes. Daily we have to hear. Now we heard that Joro Bharat is explaining to Rahugana king, and he was explaining some story about one merchant who goes to forest, and then what happens, describing this material existence with the illustration story. But now Rahugana is asking him, you please directly explain to me, I could not clearly understand this story, because Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj already included in the translation about some explanation of that story. But now the Joro Bharat will directly explain what he wanted to say. Sa hovacha, sa esha dehatma maninam, satvadi guna vishesha vikalpita kushalaku, shala samavahara, vinirmita vivida dehavalibir, viyoga samyogadi anadi, sanksaranu bhavasya dvara bhutena sat indriya vargena tasmin, durga dvavat asugame dvani apatita ishwarasya bhagavato vishnur. No, Vishnur. Vasha vartinya mayaya jiva lokoyam yatha vanik sartorta paraha swadeha nishpadita karmanu bhavaha shmasanavat ashivatamayam sangsara tavyam gato nadyapi viphala bahu pratiyogehastat tapopashamanim hari guru charanaravinda madhu karanu padavim avarundhe. This is Sanskrit prose. The meaning is, when King Parikshit asked Shukadev Goswami about the direct meaning of the material forest, Shukadev Goswami replied as follows. My dear king, a man belonging to the mercantile community or vanik is always interested in earning money. Sometimes he enters the forest to acquire some cheap commodities like wood and earth and sell them in the city at good prices. Similarly, the conditioned soul, being greedy, enters this material world for some material profit. Gradually, he enters the deepest part of the forest, not really knowing how to get out. Having entered the material world, the pure soul becomes conditioned by the material atmosphere, which is created by the external energy under the control of Lord Vishnu. Thus, the living entity comes under the control of the external energy, Devi Maya. Living independently and bewildered in the forest, he does not attain the association of devotees who are always engaged in the service of the Lord. Once in the bodily conception, he gets different types of bodies, one after the other, under the influence of material energy and impelled by the modes of material nature. Like marginal potency, one side you have Dham, and there are devotees and they are serving. But if you want to enjoy Maya, then you enter into this material world and you lose the association of devotees. You don't get. In this way, the conditioned soul goes sometimes to the heavenly planets, in this material universe, heavenly planets, sometimes the earthly planets, and sometimes to the lower planets and lower species. Thus he suffers continuously due to different types of bodies. These sufferings and pains are sometimes mixed. Sometimes they are very severe and sometimes they are not. These bodily conditions are acquired due to the conditioned soul's mental speculation. He uses his mind and 5 senses to acquire knowledge, and these bring about the different bodies and different conditions. Using the senses under the control of the external energy Maya, the living entity suffers the miserable conditions of material existence. He is actually searching for relief, but he is generally baffled, although sometimes he is relieved after great difficulty. Struggling for existence in this way, he cannot get the shelter of pure devotees who are like bumblebees engaged in loving service at the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu, because they are in transcendental realm. So if you want to enjoy, then you come here. You see, in Bhagavatam, continuously same topic is discussed. And in Chaitanya Charitamrita, the gist is given. Like only one time it is told to Sanatana Goswami and also to Rupa Goswami. He also told that there are unlimited jivas, and sometimes they go high up to heavenly planets, sometimes down like this. And then if he gets sadhu sangha, then he can come out. So in Bhagavatam again and again same topic is given, so that we could grasp it. That is why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told you have to hear SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM. Otherwise Maya will catch you and will give you so many these illusory proposals. Yasyam uhava ete sat indriya nama naha karmana dasyava evate tat yatha purushasya dhanam yat kinchit dharmo paikam bahu krichra gatam shakshat parama purusharadana lakshano yoso dharmastam tu samparaya udaharanti tad dharmyam dhanam darshana sparshana shravana svadana va grana sankalpa vyavasaya griha gramyo pabhogena kunata syajitatmano yatha sartasya vilumpanti. In the forest of material existence, the uncontrolled senses are like plunderers. We heard before in the story, and also in the commentary also it was written that this means uncontrolled senses. The conditioned soul may earn some money for the advancement of Krishna consciousness, but unfortunately the uncontrolled senses plunder his money through sense gratification. The senses are plunderers because they make one spend his money unnecessarily for seeing, smelling, tasting, touching, hearing, desiring, and willing. In this way, the conditioned soul is obliged to gratify his senses, and thus all his money is spent. This money is actually acquired for the execution of religious principles, but it is taken away by the plundering senses. So earning money is not wrong, or having money is not wrong. Wrong is only misuse for this. You can remember in Chaitanya Charitamrita we were reading, there was that Gopinath Patanayak, his brother of Raya Ramananda. So he was working for king, but he wrongly spent more money that was his salary, and he spent for sense gratification. Then the son of king became disturbed, and then ultimately like king punished him to death sentence. Then devotees prayed to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Then by the Mahaprabhu said, you pray to Jagannath, I am sannyasi. So then somehow he was saved by some agreement between son and dad, and that he will pay back. Then Gopinath Patanaya came to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and said, you saved me, please make me come to your service. Then Mahaprabhu said, it is not point that all will become ascetics. Some should be householders, otherwise how we will maintain our life? So you remain as householder, but you honestly earn money and honestly you spend for dharma purpose. If any extra money is there, you can give for the service of Hari Guru Vaishnavas, but don't spend on sense gratification, and you earn honestly. So Mahaprabhu was not against household life, like everyone has to renounce. He said, no, if everyone will renounce, then how we will live? You are maintaining us. We are begging from householders. So he said no, because sometimes we think only those who are sannyasis, they can be devotees. But here directly Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is telling that no, you should not renounce, become ascetic. You should remain householder, but you earn honestly and spend honestly, not for wrong purposes. So here also this Srila A.C. Bhaktivinoda Swami Maharaj translated in this way. Yes, here dharma, it is like meant for dharma upayikam, for the sake of dharma. So generally this means like for varna ashram dharma, but Srila A.C. Bhaktivinoda Swami Maharaj wanted to clearly make that it is like for advancing in Krishna consciousness, but the uncontrolled senses, they will waste this money. So they are like plunderers. Atha cha yatra kautumbika darapatyadayo namna karmana vrika srigala eva nichato pi kadaryasya kutumbina uranakavat samrakshamanam mishatopi haranti. My dear king, family members in this material world go under the names of wife and children, but actually they behave like tigers and jackals. A herdsman tries to protect his sheep to the best of his ability, but the tigers and foxes take them away by force. Similarly, although a miserly man wants to guard his money very carefully, his family members take away all his assets forcibly, even though he is very vigilant, because they have uncontrolled senses. They also want to enjoy, so they are all the time wanting and requesting or stealing. You will find in Jaiva Dharma there is one example how children wanted to take away money from old parents, wanted to do their own enjoyment, so they threw them out of house. Then they understood this is not good, this world. Then they, both wife and husband, they became devotees. They came to live in Dham, and they made some very small business, some shop, and were doing bhajan all the time. So, but if family members are devotees, then that is another case. Then they are cooperating for the service of Krishna. Yatha hyanu vatsaram krishamanam apyag adagdha bijam kshetram punar eva vapana kale gulma trina virudbhir gahvaram iva bhavati evam va grihashramaha karma kshetram yasmi nahi karmani utsidanti yat ayam kama karanda esha ava sataha. Every year the plowman plows over his grain field, completely uprooting all weeds. Nonetheless, the seeds lie there, and not being completely burned, again come up with the plants sown in the field. Even after being plowed under, the weeds come up densely. Similarly, the Grihastha ashram is a field of fruitive activity. Unless the desire to enjoy family life is completely burned out, it grows up again and again. Even though camphor may be removed from a pot, the pot nonetheless retains the aroma of camphor. As long as the seeds of desire are not destroyed, fruitive activities are not destroyed. You will find in, yes, here it is not, in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Rupa Goswami explains about this, that first there is avidya, ignorance. Because of being averse to Vidya, who is Supreme Lord. Supreme Lord is all knowledge, all bliss, all existence, Satchidananda. When we are averse, we come under the influence of avidya, ignorance. Then comes from avidya, comes this kama, and then bija and pap and all these things. So, unless you remove this ignorance completely about who you are and what is your proper function, these weeds will come again and again. Desires will appear again and again due to false ego for bodily enjoyment. Only one who realized that he is eternal servant of Krishna, he can give up this. So here Grihastha ashram is mentioned like for enjoyment. But if Grihastha ashram is for the service of Krishna, that is another thing. But here it is those who are ignorant of their real self, then this will happen. So fully you have to remove seed also, and that avidya, everything you have to remove by proper knowledge, that is by devotion. Otherwise this will go on. But this also comes gradually. Just recently one devotee was asking me about this kama, and like you can remember when, like she said that like everything except Krishna service is kama. It is written. Then I said yes, because service of Krishna is for his satisfaction, and everything else for sense enjoyment, that is kama. That is definition in Shastra. Then she said, but I feel guilt then. If I think this is all kama, I'm not always serving Krishna, then I feel guilt, then I'm blocked, and so many things. So, what to do? Then trying to, but this is not kama. I said, no, what is kama is kama, what is bhakti is bhakti. You cannot mix one with another just for the sake that you will avoid guilt. No, that is not correct. But in Shastra you will find, when Raghunath Das Goswami wanted to go with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then Mahaprabhu said, no, now you are not qualified. Now you go to your house and worship Krishna inside your heart, and outwardly you behave like ordinary man, Varna Ashram, and you enjoy sense enjoyments without attachment. Like Jukta Vairagya, that how much is necessary you accept, but don't do it with attachment. Because this Maya, gradually, step by step, you can conquer. It is not like all of a sudden. So if now I'm not pure devotee, then I will like feel guilt, and then I will be blocked. No, he told him, now you go home, and Raghunath Das Goswami was married and everything, and did. Then later, when he fulfilled that purpose, he could totally come out. But Mahaprabhu told this will gradually happen. And also in the Ambarish Maharaja's case, it is written in Bhagavatam that he conquered kama gradually by performing devotional service. Gradually he could conquer kama. And another I told example, Krishna told in 11th canto Bhagavatam, there are 3 paths for advancement of jiva. Those who want material benefits, it is karma. Those who want liberation, it is jnana. And those who have faith in me, there is bhakti. Then he explains that as long as one does not have faith in Krishna, then he has to perform that karma yoga or varna ashram dharma like this for gradual advancement or jnana. And then he said, but one who has acquired faith in me, in my harikatha, shraddha, that is like the basis of devotion. But then Krishna says, such devotee, he has faith in me, and he also knows that all kama will lead to suffering, to dukkha. He knows. But still, he is unable to fully give up that. Then what he should do? Should he then stop worshipping Krishna? No, because already he has faith. So then Krishna says, you have to continue worship Krishna with faith. At the same time, those enjoyments, what you cannot give up, you accept with, not with adoration, like with some regret, not like this is very good, with interest and this, like this, no, but with some, our Gurudev explained, like with, not with interest, with, not with adoration, dukkha garhayam, like with some regret. Then in this way you have to practice. Then the more you get taste in worshipping Krishna, the more you can give up these other enjoyments, and gradually, like Ambrish Maharaj, you can fully come out. So I gave these examples, but we cannot solve the problem of karma by trying to say, no, I will offer this to Krishna. I'm thinking this is also for Krishna. I will dress nicely and put makeup, and no, I'm doing for Krishna and like this. No, it will not work like that. Kama is kama and prema is prema. They are two different things. Like if one rabbit, he sees one wolf, he's attacking him, then he becomes afraid, and then if he closes eyes, then he will think, oh, now danger is gone, I'm not seeing anyone. That will not work. That wolf will eat him. Like that, we cannot, what is kama. We cannot make kama devotion. That is apasampradayas, they are trying to make this. But that will not help anyone. But no, if then I will cry and like this. But then I said, but if when you will get the reaction of karma, that is suffering, that time you think you will not cry? You will cry in suffering. Our Parangurudev told that you have to face the facts boldly. What is fact is fact. Our Gurudev wrote one whole book to explain the difference between kama and prema or bhakti. So reading that book, she was asking me that what about this, but then I said, no, it is not like that. But we can gradually overcome, like this, practicing without detachment, means without attachment, if we are in that stage, and also accepting with, not with adoration, and worshipping Krishna all the time, then we can gradually conquer, like Ambrish Maharaj. So here it is written, as long as the seeds of desires are not destroyed, fruitive activities are not destroyed. Again and again you will do work for enjoyment. Here Srila Bhaktivinoda Swami Maharaj gave one example that sometimes in our society ISKCON, some people, they out of sentiment they take sannyas, like I will fully dedicate to the service of Krishna, but because the seeds of desires are not burned completely, he again takes to family life, even if at the risk of losing his prestige and disgracing his good name. These strong desires can be burned out completely when one fully engages in the service of the Lord in devotional service. So this you can get gradually. That is why our Gurudev also told, it is not that Nivriti mark, like sannyas ashram, can be conferred just like on anyone. No. When they are very sincere for devotion, and that desire, like for serving Krishna, is strong, and renunciation is natural, then it is possible, but not out of emotion. Emotionally you should not do anything. So then our Gurudev also gave the example of this Raghunath Das Goswami, how Mahaprabhu told him, no, not now. So we have to practice under the guidance of bona fide Guru for gradual advancement, but sometimes it happens that Gurus, they need, for the sake of preaching, they need some like so-called full-time devotees, like in war. They are not soldiers, but the government will give guns to everyone and you go and shoot. But after the war is over, then they will again do their own things, because they are not professional soldiers. So like that, sometimes for preaching's sake they give. Then after that is completed, then those preachers will like take to household life and do bhajan on their level. It happened to some Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur disciples, even happened to many of Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaja's disciples, even now recently some Acharya's disciples, it happens, sannyasi and then again household life. Even recently, and also one Sridhar Bhaktiraka Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaja's sannyasi was like that. He was sannyasi, he entered household life, but after some time again Sridhar Maharaj gave him sannyas. So like this, Tatra Gato Damsha Mashaka Sama Pasadeir Manu Jai Shalabha Shakunta Taskara Mushakadibir Uparudya Mana Bahih Prana Kvachit Parivartamano Smin Advani Avidya Kama Karmabir Uparakta. Yes. Mana Sanu Papa Nartham Nara Lokam Gandharva Nagaram Upapanam Iti Mitya Drishtir Anupashyati. Sometimes the conditioned soul in household life, being attached to material wealth and possessions, is disturbed by gadflies and mosquitoes, and sometimes locusts, birds of prey and rats give him trouble. Nonetheless, he still wanders down the path of material existence. Due to ignorance, he becomes lusty and engages in fruitive activity. Because his mind is absorbed in these activities, he sees the material world as permanent, although it is temporary, like a phantasmagoria or a house in the sky. 1 second. See, here in Sanskrit, it is written, avidya karma bir, uparakta. The root cause of karma is avidya. Avidya means ignorance. Who am I? And what is my actual duty, function? So, and also the kama does not mean only sexual desire, sexual enjoyment. Kama refers to any kind of sense enjoyment. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, Mahaprabhu told, Atmendriya priti bancha tare boli kam. Krishnendriya priti icha dhore prem nam. Anything which tends to the gratification of your own senses, Atmendriya priti bancha, your own indriyas, senses, is called kama. Anything like hearing music that she was asking, well, I need some energy, and that is also kama. You cannot say it is not. Or seeing nice objects, everything is kama. So this is due to avidya, and our Narottam Thakur also told, kama Krishna karma arpane. You should engage kama in the work for Krishna. Like that passion or that desire, you should engage for the service of Krishna. Or our Buddhayan Maharaj, he told, like you have child and then you offer that child for the service of Krishna. That is his explanation. Kama Krishna karma arpane. To offer kama for the service of Krishna. So, all this is. So we think we are absorbed in these activities, then we think this world is real and it is permanent, I will enjoy, but it is not so. It looks like that for us who are in illusion, but it is like phantasmagoria. We think it will make us happy, but there is no happiness there. Suffering is there. Because like water in desert, that is not real water. Looks like, but it is not real. But we cannot know this unless someone wakes us up from illusion. Like house in the sky, that cannot exist, phantasmagoria. Ahankare mata hoya nitai pada pasoria asatere satya kori mane. When we are intoxicated by ahankara, that is false ego, I am the owner, I am the enjoyer, I am worker, I did. Then what happens? We forget the lotus feet of Nityananda Prabhu, means devotee. About the service of Krishna we forget. And we think what is asat, temporary, we think it is sat. Means we are in illusion. Tatra cha kvachit ata podaka nibhan vishayan upadhavati panna bhojana vyavayadi vyasana lolupaha. Sometimes in this house in the sky, or called Gandharvapura, Gandharvapur, the conditioned soul drinks, eats, and has sex. Being overly attached, he chases after the objects of the senses, just as a deer chases a mirage in the desert. Yes. Bishoye je priti ebe achoye amar. Sei moto priti houk charane tomar. How much I have now attachment for sense objects. I'm always like a slave, always running after sense object. Oh Krishna, please make me that much attached to you. Let me have that much attachment to you. Because unless you stop chasing after sense objects uncontrollably, you cannot attain Krishna. That is why this is from the song of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, but Narottam Thakur, he told, Bishayacharya kove shuddha hobe mon, kove hama herabo Shri Vrindavan. When will I give up this chasing for sense objects and my mind will become pure? Then I will be able to see Vrindavan. Vrindavan is transcendental realm. There everyone is serving Krishna. Krishna is enjoyer, all are enjoyed, all are serving Krishna. So unless you are also service inclined, you are unable to realize Vrindavan. With Kama, you cannot enter Vrindavan, you cannot understand Vrindavan, you cannot see Vrindavan with Kama, only with Prema. So we have to change this. We have spent so many lives in different species only for Kama. But now we have to change. By the help of sadhu, we have to become devotees of Krishna, engage ourselves in devotion to Krishna. Then actually you can be happy. How much you can enjoy Kama, you will never be fulfilled. That also will come in Bhagavatam later on. Jajati Maharaj, he was king. He had all opulence. And Damayanti wife, they were doing sense enjoyment for 1000 years. All the time. Uninterrupted. And he, under 1000 years, he understood this is not the process for fulfillment. It is like putting ghee on fire. It will never finish. It will increase. So this is not procedure. Then he became devotee, he surrendered to Krishna, then he became fulfilled, and he also made his wife, Damayanti, devotee. So even if we try to cover Kama into some false, that we will not feel guilt, still, how much you will enjoy, you can never be fulfilled. And suffering will definitely come. You cannot cover Kama into some thing and think, no, now everything will be okay. No. Like rabbit, closing eyes, cannot escape danger. Fact is fact. Kvachich cha shesha dosha nishadanam purisha vishesham tadvarna guna nirmita matihi suvarnam upaditsati agni kama katara ivolmuka pishacham. Sometimes the living entity is interested in the yellow stool known as gold and runs after it. That gold is the source of material opulence and envy, and it can enable one to afford illicit sex, gambling, meat eating, and intoxication. Those whose minds are overcome by the mote of passion are attracted by the color of gold, just as a man suffering from cold in the forest runs after a phosphorescent light in a marshy land, considering it to be fire. He thinks it is fire, but it is not, and it cannot give you heat. You cannot remove cold. Like that, the conditioned soul, they are interested in gold and all, because they can then afford all kinds of sense enjoyment, but that will pollute your mind. Atha kadachin, something I had in mind but I forgot. Kachit chashesha dosha nishan purisha vishe. No, I had something but I forgot. Atha kadachin nivasa panya dravi nadi anekatmo pa jivanabhinivesha etasyam sangsaratavyam itastatah paridhavati. Sometimes the conditioned soul is absorbed in finding residential quarters or apartments and getting a supply of water and riches to maintain his body. Absorbed in acquiring a variety of necessities, he forgets everything and perpetually runs around the forest of material existence. So we are fully in Maya. There is no way Prahlad Maharaj told, you have to escape from this and taking shelter of Krishna. If sadhus are not allowed, then you have to escape such house, because only sadhus, they can awaken us from illusion. So sadhu sangha is most important to awaken us from illusion. Kvachit cha vatyopamyaya pramada ya roham aropitas tatkala rajasa rajani bhuta iva sadhu maryado rajas vilaksho pidik devata ati rajas vala matir na vijanati. Sometimes, as if blinded by the dust of a whirlwind, the conditioned soul sees the beauty of the opposite sex, which is called pramad, or inattentiveness. Being thus, or bewilderment. Being thus bewildered, he is raised upon the lap of a woman, and at that time his good senses are overcome by the force of passion. He thus becomes almost blind with lusty desire and disobeys the rules and regulations governing sex life. He does not know that his disobedience is witnessed by different demigods, and he enjoys illicit sex in the dead of night, not seeing the future punishment awaiting him. Here, as I told on that day, Dharma viruddha bhuteshu kamosmi bharatarshava. Krishna says, I am that kama which is not against religious principles. So some lectures back, I told that one devotee of ISKCON found all those scriptural evidences for different standards of regulation for regulating this. But here the point is, someone may think, no, I will do secretly, no one will know. But demigods are seeing, Yamaraj is seeing, earth is seeing, fire is seeing, 13 witnesses are there, Paramatma, everyone. So you cannot escape. But that suffering, that punishment which we get, that is good for us, so that we don't go in that direction. Kvachit sakrit avagata vishaya vetatyaha swayam parabhidyanena vibramshita smritis tayeva marichi toya parayam stan eva bhidhavati. The conditioned soul sometimes personally appreciates the futility of sense enjoyment in the material world, and he sometimes considers material enjoyment to be full of miseries. However, due to his strong bodily conception, his memory is destroyed, and again he runs after material enjoyment. Just as an animal runs after a mirage in the desert, because that illusion is not removed. He is still thinking there is water there, and I'm thinking still that will fulfill me, because illusion is not removed. And you cannot remove illusion by your own effort. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told the Bhaddha there is no Swatah Siddha Gyan, Krishna, that is not self-manifest. So, for this reason, Krishna manifests Veda, Purana, and as Chaitya Guru, and as Mahanta Guru, external Guru, and Chaitya Guru, he is advising. There is no other way to come out from illusion. One who is awakened can awaken you. By yourself, sleeping you cannot. Then, further, we will hear about these facts. Their facts. It is meant to help us to come out. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, हरि बोल, हरि बोल। जय श्री श्री गुरु गौरांग गांधर्विका गिरिधारी जीव की जय। जय श्री श्री गुरु गौरांग शिष्य राधा मदन मोहन पंचतत्त्वात्मक श्री गौर हरि की जय। जय श्री श्री गुरु गौरांग शिष्य राधा नयननाथ जीव की जय। जय श्री गौर नित्यानंद प्रभु की जय। जय श्री जगन्नाथ देव की जय। जय पतित पावन शिला गुरुदेव की जय। जय शिला परम गुरुदेव की जय। जय शिला प्रभुपाद की जय। जय श्री रूपानुग गुरुवरे की जय। जय श्री पंच तत्व प्रभु की जय। जय श्री वृंदा देवी तुलसी देवी की जय। जय सर्व विघ्न विनाशनकारी श्री नृसिंह देव की जय। जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। जय समागत भक्त वृंद की जय। जय श्री श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। जय श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि बोल। थैंक यू ऑल। दंडवत प्रणाम। हरि बोल।